Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to discuss the current government policy on free school meals, the role of Manchester United's Marcus Rashford and his campaign to end child poverty and hunger in the UK, and I'm going to have a look at the blunders and blusters of the Conservative Party on this issue over the last year. I'm then going to put forward some reasons why I think the Conservatives should have done better, why they need to do better, and why they should fully support this policy rather than play partisan politics on the matter. This is a Moustache Empire policy report. Welcome. So first, free school meals. In the UK, if you're on benefits or your household does not meet a certain income threshold, then your children are entitled to receive free school meals. The government states that schools, when providing for these meals, must provide high quality meat, poultry or oily fish, fruit and vegetables, bread, other cereals or potatoes. There can't be drinks with added sugar, crisps, chocolate or sweets in school meals and vending machines, and there mustn't be more than 2 portions of deep fried, battered or breaded food a week. The government also states they spend a flat rate of £2.30 per meal in England, and this can vary between £2.15 and £2.70 across the UK, depending on which devolved government you live under. In total, this sets the government back around £20 million per week, or around £1 billion per year. However, there's also been a recent surge in the number of children applying for free school meals, with over 1 million children said to now have to receive free school meals. There has been a lot of controversy on this issue over the last year, especially involving Manchester United's Marcus Rashford. The footballer started a campaign to help combat and tackle child poverty and hunger in the UK, in which he forced the UK government to into a U-turn to provide free school meals to those eligible throughout the summer holidays, something that they again refused to do come October, with 320 Conservative MPs voting against providing free school meals during the summer holidays, with people like Nigel Farage stating, if the government can subsidise Eat Out to help out, not being seen to give poor kids lunch in the school holidays looks mean and is wrong, and I'm sure likens many back to Thatcher taking people's milk. Boris and the Conservatives have continuously come under fire on this policy, especially in the wake of a third national lockdown and schools being forced to close, meaning that they have to deliver these free school meals to the people who are eligible. The government offered a tender to businesses to provide £30 worth of healthy, balanced food to each child eligible. Unfortunately, one of these turned out to be a Conservative donor, and many people weren't happy with what they received, as shown here, with many people receiving about £5 worth of food, and you can understand their outrage. This has forced the UK government and Boris to come out and apologise, the companies to apologise, and many of the companies involved to even offer full refunds. However, that's not entirely what I want to discuss. I want to discuss why the Conservatives need to change their mind on this policy and fully get behind it, and why I think they're losing a lot of votes due to this issue. My first reasoning as to why the Conservative Party need to get a grip on this issue is, of course, the kids. Why punish the kids in a pandemic that you couldn't control, in a lockdown that you caused? Many of these children are having to claim free school meals due to the direct cause of their parents losing their jobs because of the lockdowns that you have enforced. And now you want to underhand them even more. It's backwards, let alone the fact that this is a half-decent policy to feed vulnerable children who might not get the right amount of nutrients to help them with their brain and physical development. There's enough studies to show that it helps them with that. Do you not want a better educated populace? Do you not want a healthier populace? Especially in the wake of a goddamn pandemic. And so, my second reason is, of course, the fact that this policy has already been paid for. Free school meals have existed for decades, and the policy was already budgeted for in the last budget. So to all those people who are having a go at people on free school meals, or children claiming them, that those people disliking it, saying, I paid my way my entire life, I had to pay for my children's food, why do they get it for free? Well, fair play to you, I totally agree with you. It is a responsibility of the parent to feed their children. I agree with the Conservative MP when he says that he doesn't believe in nationalising children. Is it Brendan Clark Smith? But this isn't that issue. Do you want your taxpayer money wasted? Do you want it profited off? Do you want greedy companies such as Chartwell's to just throw your taxpayer money down the drain that should otherwise be going to help vulnerable and potentially hungry children to a massive corporation? Is that honestly what you want to support? And so the third reason is, of course, the votes. It seems as if the Conservative Party are just fledging votes on this issue. As if they're trying not to win the next election, it seems. A key Conservative voter over the last few decades has been that of the married mother. And there's good reason as to why that is, and that's because we're the party of law and order, the party of good education, the party of good family values, and this, to me, only looks as if you are pushing those voters away. You are potentially pushing those people who are not partisans, who are not politicos like the rest of us. Instead, just read the news and see Conservative Party votes against free school meals. You play against the complete narrative. You allow the Labour Party to refer to you as the nasty party. As I said, it likens you back to Thatcher getting rid of children's milk. It's an easy way to lose votes over something so minor and small, and as stated, is a pretty decent policy. And so, my fourth one, which leads from the third one, is that I'm not an ideologue. This isn't about conservative ideology. And for people like Steve Baker, of all the hills to die on, this isn't the one I'm going to die on. Of all the times that the Conservative Party have gone completely against philosophy and ideology, the fact that they've allowed critical race theory to completely take over the government, the fact that we have a tremendous migrant problem on our hands, the fact that you have hardly supported small businesses enough, and yet this is the hill you're going to die on because of your ideology. Madness. Absolute madness. This isn't about party politics. This is about the narrative of not making yourself look evil, especially towards children, and especially towards vulnerable children at that. And so, my fifth reason, and to me, the most important reason as to why the Conservative Party need to stop playing ideological and party politics on this matter, and just fully get behind the matter, is cost. It costs hardly anything. It costs just over £1 billion a year in order to give over 1 million children a meal a day. And after some rough estimates, it would cost the government about £17 billion a year to give every child in this country a meal for every single day of the year. And I'm not being funny, but of all the government wastages, feeding children shouldn't be seen as that. We spent £15.8 billion last year on international foreign aid. The same people who are having to go against this policy are the same people who say, well, charity starts at home. So why won't you spend £1 billion on feeding kids? When when you're happy to waste huge amounts of money on such other nonsense. I mean, I have a graphic here of HS2 stating that it is now estimated to cost £107 billion. It amounts to something like £1 billion per mile. We're spending £107 billion on a goddamn train. A train that makes your journey about 40 minutes quicker will probably cost 4 times the price. And worst of all, probably won't even be used that much after the pandemic, because do you think all of those companies that make their workers commute into London and have spent all that money on allowing them to work from home, giving them laptops, devices so that they can do their work from home, are immediately going to be like, the moment the pandemic's over, oh, come back in the office, we want you back here, and it's probably going to cost us 4 times the price in a train journey. This isn't the hill to die on. And so it should just bring me on to really what my final point is the easiest solution as to what this policy should have been. There shouldn't have been private companies profiteering off of it. It should have essentially been a voucher in which businesses across the country could sign up to. They could follow the government regulations on the healthy and balanced diet that children should receive, and then a £30 voucher should have instead been offered to each one of these families eligible, and that they can go spend it in these shops on those certain products. The longer this issue continues, the longer the Conservative Party look like the evil, nasty Tory party, the longer that we continue to lose out on issues such as this, then their chances of winning a majority in 2024 grow even slimmer. There is already enough anger on the right over the lack of help for small businesses. There's already enough anger on the restrictions of liberty on the right. Don't let the left steal more votes from you. This is such an easy policy in order to garner votes, in order to look strong on, in order to look like a good government that cares in the midst of a crisis. And yet you completely fail. This isn't the policy I'm going to be the all-out free market capitalist on. I'm the last person to want to give things away for free. But if I'm going to, I don't really have a problem with giving it children. And I think if you do, you got something wrong with you, really. You know, especially if you agree with massive trains like that. 107 billion. You've been watching Moustache Empire. Please do like, comment and share the video. Follow me on minds.com and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Issues like this just make it